Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. Today on the channel we are firing up the Pit Boss Savannah Onyx edition, and we're making some beautiful, delicious, boneless beef spare ribs. These are going to have that incredible beefy flavor that you love in a brisket in kind of a smaller size, and we're actually going to cook it kind of like a brisket today. And at the end, we'll talk about different ways that you can eat it. You can shred it, put it in tacos, you can eat it exactly like it comes off the smoker, or a number of different ways. The first step is to talk to you about these spare ribs, so let's get started. All right, here we have some boneless spare ribs. Now normally, if these were bone in, you would see kind of that bone coming through, and you can sort of tell where the ribs are. So there's kind of like 1, 2, 3. And these areas here would normally have a bone in it, but those have been removed. So we could smoke this whole thing just like this as one piece of meat, but I'm actually gonna slice it into individual sections just to make it cook a little bit easier, and that way I can get more seasoning on each piece. Now you'll see on the other side here, there's a little bit of that like fat cap that you would expect to see on a brisket. I'm gonna leave that on for the most part today, just because I do want some sort of a heat barrier, and that's gonna be just enough fat to provide for that. Even though there's not really anything right here or here, that's gonna be fine. So using my very, very sharp knife, I'm gonna come down here and separate this section, and this section. So we'll start right here, and we're just gonna lop off this piece, okay? It's a lot of fat. We'll lop that off. Now look at that gorgeous marbling in there. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, so now we'll come in right about here, straight down, and we'll see, look at that. Oh, look at that, beautiful. And then we'll come right down in this area. Then once more on this side. And we'll come in right about here. See, I'll probably go a little bit farther on that one just because there's some extra fat over here. Now they're not all the exact same size, which is totally fine. I'm not concerned about that. But now it's time to season these up. So I'm gonna start with just a little bit of oil. This is olive oil. And just make sure I coat all the sides there. It's gonna help that seasoning stick nicely to it. It's also gonna add a little bit of a dimension of flavor and help us to get a nice little bark. All right, and now pick a seasoning that you like. You could go super traditional with just salt and pepper. You could throw some extra garlic in there, make a little SPG, or you could do what I'm doing today, which is to use the Pit Boss Prime Beef Rub. I love this rub. It is so good on a steak, on a brisket. It's phenomenal. Really has ingredients in it that bring out that nice beefy flavor. It's a little breezy this morning, so hopefully it doesn't blow everywhere. Try and prevent that as much as I can. And we're just gonna go around and do this on all sides. And you'll see I'm not doing like a crazy amount. Don't wanna overdo it with the seasoning. Okay, so now that we've got these seasoned on all sides, it's time to let these rest for about 15 minutes or so before we get them into the smoke. But while we wait for them to rest, let's talk about how we're gonna smoke them today. As I mentioned, we are smoking today on the Pit Boss Savannah Onyx edition. It's available exclusively at Walmart. It's part of their new Onyx line. They've got an Onyx vertical smoker right now called the Copperhead. You just gotta check out the new line of Onyx pellet grills available at Walmart. I'm smoking today at a temperature of 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm using the Pit Boss Freedom Blend, which is a 50-50 blend of hickory and charcoal. It really produces some great flavor, especially on beef. Now we're gonna smoke these for about 3.5 hours to start, and then once we've got that nice little bark developed, we're gonna take them off and wrap them in kind of a foil boat with some other stuff, put them back in until they're done. Now on a brisket, you're looking for about 202, 203. We're gonna take these all the way to 210. That's my internal temperature. We're gonna go all the way up to 210 degrees Fahrenheit inside, because the short rib is a little bit of a tougher meat, and so it takes a little bit longer to break down. So that's why we're gonna go up to a little bit of a higher temperature. And I will be monitoring that temperature today using the Chef's Tip Quad X Pro wireless meat thermometer. It's really cool. It's got a receiver that stays here with the grill, and then you've got a transmitter that you can take with you, and you can actually just kind of monitor that all throughout the cook. You can set alarms so that it beeps when it's a certain temperature. Really have been enjoying this thing so far. And a special shout out to Chef's Temp for sending me this incredible meat thermometer. And speaking of people to thank, I have to give a massive shout out to my butcher, Strip District Meats, for providing these incredible spare ribs today. They are an incredible butcher right in the heart of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can find them online at stripdistrictmeats.com. You can order off their website and they will ship anything you want to you nationwide. But now it's time for me to ship these spare ribs into the smoker. All right, let's open up the Savannah. We're gonna start by placing these fat cap down, just like that. And let's go with a meat thermometer right in here. Do another one right in here. That way we can kind of monitor that temperature from both sides of the grill. All right, let's close it up and we'll be back in a few hours to take a look and see what we need to do next. All right, after 3.5 hours, this is what our short ribs look like. And they smell incredible. The smell from that beef rub, oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I've taken them off the smoker for a little bit here, and we've got them just sitting on this piece of foil. And what I'm gonna do is begin the process of wrapping these up and making sort of like a boat here. And then here's where it's gonna get magical, because to this, I'm gonna add a few spoonfuls of beef tallow. And I made this tallow out of the fat renderings from the last brisket that I did. This is going to melt beautifully, and it's gonna just deliver some amazing flavor to these short ribs. Just like that. Now with that tallow in there, we're gonna wrap this up tightly. We don't want anything escaping out of there. Just like that. And then this is gonna go back into the smoke until it's done. I'm gonna stick my temperature probe in just to make sure that we can monitor that, and we'll be back to pull them when they're 210 internal. All right, so a little bit of time has passed. After another 1.5 hours, I temped them and they were sitting right at 210 degrees each. So at that point, I pulled them off and I've been letting them rest ever since. And that's been about 2 hours. So now it's time to unwrap and see what they look like. Oh man, look at that. Woo, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Gorgeous. Now there's a number of ways that you could eat this. You could just kind of like take these, put them on a plate, eat them just like that with a knife and fork. But I'm actually going to pull them and we're gonna make some delicious, really simple tacos. So I'll just go in with a couple of forks here. Just kind of pull that beef apart. Oh man, look at that beef. Doesn't that look good? Oh. Looks amazing. Just sitting in that tallow too. Oh. All right, so now here's what we do. 2 flour tortillas. We'll just add to those some of that delicious short rib, like so. And to that, we add some fresh shredded Monterey Jack cheese. Now you could add some red onion. You could add really whatever your favorite taco toppings are. But I'm just gonna keep it really simple with that cheese and just some shredded iceberg. And there you have it. Some beautiful, incredible, boneless short rib tacos. All right, everybody, time to try this short rib. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be delicious. It's juicy from that tallow. Oh my gosh, here we go. Little short rib taco. Oh. Oh my God. The flavor of that meat. Wow. It's got such a classic beefy flavor that I absolutely love. It's so good. I'll go so far as to say, holy smokes, this is delicious. Okay, this was not very difficult to make at all. You saw the process was very simple. So if you can find some boneless short ribs, go ahead and snatch those up, get them on your pit boss, and try this because it's absolutely incredible. And remember, you don't have to do tacos. You can do any number of things with this, but whatever you do, just try the short rib. Well, hey, thank you once again for tuning into the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. And if you like this video, make sure that you click that thumbs up. That's gonna really help other people find the channel, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. That way you know as soon as we post new videos here on the channel. And listen, if you're new to the channel, you got to check out one of these 2 other videos. We've done these things recently here on the channel. You got to check them out. It's all been delicious outside, all on the smoker, and I'll see you next time.